Hey everybody, it's Adele, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about something super important, being prepared. You know, life can throw some curveballs our way, storms, power outages, you name it, and it's better to be safe than sorry, right? That's why I'm teaming up with the American Red Cross to share a list of 15 essential items they recommend having on hand for emergencies. No need to stress though, we're gonna go through each item one by one, and I promise to make it fun. Well, as fun as prepping for an emergency can be. So grab a pen and paper, and let's get started, because being prepared is always a good thing. Plus, you never know, this information might just come in handy one day. First up, let's talk food. Now, I'm not talking about stocking up on your favorite snacks, although that's never a bad idea. I'm talking about a dedicated emergency food kit. The Red Cross suggests having enough non-perishable food to last each person in your household at least 3 days. Think canned goods, protein bars, dried fruit, nuts, things that are shelf-stable and provide energy. And remember, when choosing items for your kit, consider any dietary needs or restrictions you or your family members might have. It's all about being prepared for anything. Now, you can buy pre-made kits, but where's the fun in that? Assembling your own allows you to customize it to your liking. Plus, it's a great opportunity to clean out your pantry and get organized. And hey, if you end up not needing it for an emergency, you've got yourself a ready-made snack stash. It's a win-win. Remember, the key here is to choose foods that require minimal to no preparation, as you might not have access to a stove or electricity during an emergency. So, grab those cans, stock up on those power bars, and let's get ready to weather any storm with a full belly. All right, we've got our food situation handled, but what about staying hydrated? Just as important as food is having access to clean drinking water. The Red Cross recommends storing at least 1 gallon of water per person per day, again, for at least 3 days. Now I know what you're thinking. A gallon of water per person per day? That's a lot of water. And you're right, it is. But trust me, when you need it, you'll be glad you have it. Dehydration is no joke, people. You can store water in reusable containers or purchase commercially bottled water. Just make sure to check the expiration dates on those bottles. And hey, if you want to be extra cautious, you can even look into water purification tablets or filters. They're a great way to ensure you have access to safe drinking water, no matter what life throws your way. So, fill those reusable bottles, stock up on those gallon jugs, and let's raise a glass to being prepared. Next up, let's talk boo-boos. Accidents happen, and it's always best to be prepared. Having a well-stocked first aid kit is crucial in any emergency situation. Think about it. A simple cut or scrape can quickly become a bigger problem if you don't have the right supplies on hand. Your first aid kit should include all the basics, such as bandages, antiseptic wipes, antibiotic ointment, pain relievers, gauze, medical tape, and anything else you think you might need. And don't forget any personal medications. It's also a good idea to include a first aid manual in your kit, just in case you need a refresher on how to treat a particular injury. You never know, you might even surprise yourself and discover your inner doctor. Remember, a well-stocked first aid kit can be a lifesaver in an emergency, so don't skimp on the essentials. Be prepared to kiss those boo-boos goodbye. All right, let's shed some light on our next essential item, the flashlight. When the power goes out and you're stumbling around in the dark, a reliable flashlight is your new best friend. Trust me, I've been there. Make sure you have a flashlight that's specifically designed for emergencies, one that's durable, waterproof, and has a long battery life. And don't forget those extra batteries. There's nothing worse than fumbling around for batteries in the dark. Now, if you want to be extra prepared, you can even consider getting a hand crank flashlight. These little lifesavers don't require any batteries at all. Just a few cranks and you've got light. It's like magic, but with less glitter and more practicality. So ditch the candles, ditch the matches, and let's embrace the power of the flashlight. Speaking of batteries, let's talk about these little powerhouses. In an emergency, batteries can be just as important as food and water. They power our flashlights, radios, and other essential devices that can keep us connected and informed. Make sure you have a variety of battery sizes on hand to fit all your different devices. You don't want to be caught in a situation where you need to power up your weather radio, but all you have are AA batteries. And remember, batteries have a shelf life, so it's important to check the expiration dates regularly and replace them as needed. Don't wait until the power goes out to realize your batteries are deader than a disco ball in a power outage. Our next essential item is small but mighty, the whistle. Now you might be thinking, a whistle? What am I, a soccer referee? But a whistle can be a lifesaver in an emergency situation, especially if you need to signal for help. Imagine you're injured or trapped and unable to call for assistance. A loud, shrill whistle can carry much farther than your voice, increasing your chances of being heard by rescuers. Plus, it's a lot less exhausting than yelling for help, and it leaves your vocal cords free for more important things, like singing along to your favorite tunes on your battery-powered radio. Next up, let's talk about protecting our lungs with dust masks. In an emergency situation, the air quality can be compromised by dust, smoke, or other airborne contaminants. A dust mask can help filter out these harmful particles, allowing you to breathe a little easier. Now, these aren't your average Halloween costume masks. We're talking about masks that are specifically designed to filter out harmful particles. Make sure you choose masks that are rated N95 or higher for the best protection. And remember, a dust mask is only effective if it fits properly, so make sure you have masks in different sizes for everyone in your household. All right, let's talk about two unlikely heroes, plastic sheeting and duct tape. Now, these might not seem like essential emergency supplies, but trust me, they can be lifesavers. Plastic sheeting can be used to create a temporary shelter, seal windows and doors, or even collect rainwater. And duct tape? Well, duct tape can fix just about anything. Use it to repair tears in your shelter, secure loose objects, or even create a makeshift splint. Together, plastic sheeting and duct tape are the ultimate DIY duo for any emergency situation. They're like the peanut butter and jelly of the survival world. Okay, let's talk about something we don't always think about during emergencies: hygiene. Just because the world might be a little topsy-turvy doesn't mean we have to let our personal hygiene go down the drain. Moist towelettes, garbage bags, and plastic ties are essential for maintaining sanitation and hygiene in an emergency situation. Use moist towelettes for quick cleanups, garbage bags for waste disposal, and plastic ties to keep those garbage bags securely closed. Remember, maintaining good hygiene is important not only for our physical health, but also for our mental well-being. A little bit of cleanliness can go a long way in boosting morale during a stressful time. Next up, let's talk tools. A wrench or pliers can be incredibly useful in an emergency situation, especially if you need to turn off utilities like gas or water. Now, I know what you're thinking. I'm not a plumber. I don't know how to turn off my gas line. And you know what? That's perfectly okay. But it's always a good idea to familiarize yourself with the location of your utility shutoffs and learn how to turn them off safely. You can even label the shutoffs with brightly colored tape so they're easy to find in an emergency. Remember, safety first. Remember all that canned food we talked about earlier? Well, it's not much good without a can opener, is it? A manual can opener is an essential item for any emergency kit. Don't rely on electric can openers, as you might not have power during an emergency. Choose a sturdy, reliable manual can opener and familiarize yourself with how to use it. And hey, if you're feeling really ambitious, you can even learn how to open a can without a can opener. There are plenty of videos online that can teach you how to do it using everyday objects. It's a fun little survival skill to have in your back pocket. In today's digital age, we rely heavily on our smartphones for navigation. But what happens when our phones run out of battery or we don't have access to cell service? That's where good old-fashioned paper maps come in handy. Keep a local map of your area in your emergency kit so you can navigate your surroundings even without technology. Highlight evacuation routes, potential shelters, and other important locations on your map. And hey, why not make it a family activity? Spread out that map, grab some markers, and let's get ready to navigate our way to safety. Speaking of technology, our cell phones have become essential tools for communication, especially during emergencies. Make sure your phone is fully charged before a storm or any potential disaster. It's also a good idea to have a backup battery or a solar charger on hand, just in case you're unable to charge your phone using traditional methods. And remember, conserve your phone's battery as much as possible by reducing screen brightness, turning off unnecessary apps, and limiting your calls to essential communication only. Let's talk about staying warm and cozy during an emergency. Blankets are essential for staying warm, especially if you experience a power outage during colder months. Pack a variety of blankets for different needs and temperatures, from lightweight fleece blankets to heavier wool blankets. And hey, don't forget about your furry friends. Pack a blanket or two for your pets too. After all, they need to stay warm and cozy too. Last but not least, let's talk about the importance of having cash on hand during an emergency. When ATMs are down and credit card machines are out of commission, cash is king. Keep a stash of small bills and coins in your emergency kit for situations where you need to make purchases or pay for services. And remember, cash is also essential for tipping those essential workers who are working tirelessly to keep us safe and sound during emergencies. So there you have it, folks. The 15 essential items the American Red Cross wants you to have on hand in case of an emergency. Remember, being prepared is the best way to stay safe and keep those smiles beaming. Now, I know thinking about emergencies isn't always fun, but trust me, it's better to be safe than sorry. Think of it this way. You're not just packing an emergency kit, you're packing peace of mind. And that's something we could all use a little more of, right? So go ahead, gather those supplies, and remember, in the words of the great Dory, just keep swimming. Or in this case, just keep preparing. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Stay safe out there.